Welcome to the first edition of Tales from the Gravedigger. Alright, we're gonna try that again. So, with it being wintertime, I figured it'd be fun maybe to write some of my own stories inspired from my cemetery work. And let's see if you guys enjoy them. So let's get into the first tale. Tale number 1, The Scent of Death. So, if you're wondering, how does someone become a gravedigger in a small community in the thumb of Michigan? Allow me to sum it up for you. I got in trouble. I got an outrageous amount of community service hours. Not too many options up here. There's only so many fire hydrants in a small town you can paint. So, I did what I was kind of interested in. I went to the local cemetery, see who owns it, and maybe I could do some community service work over there. Well, the church that owns it was all for some free labor. They actually wondered if I had any ideas on what I could do, and I'm like, yeah, I could restore some of these old forgotten headstones, and they jumped all over it. I fell in love with restoring headstones immediately, me being a history buff and loving the solitude and the peace and quiet, and the dead can't talk back to you. Yep, it was just me and my earbuds in, listening to horror stories off of YouTube, and enjoying the view of Lake Huron I got from the cemetery. After some time has passed, I put so much joy into my work, and it showed. They actually offered me a full-time job as an assistant gravedigger. And, of course, I accepted, or else I wouldn't have these tales to share with you. Now we get into what you came to listen for. After some time has passed, I haven't had many paranormal experiences, but one afternoon that all changed. I was cleaning and restoring this kind of impressive monument from the late 1800s. I did my normal routine, packed up my equipment, and headed to my truck. While I was walking away and up to my truck, I caught a faint scent of like old lady perfume. You know that kind of perfume that overwhelms you at church? Yeah, it was exactly that. I didn't think too much about it at first and proceeded to pack my truck. And the second I hopped in my truck and shut the door, the air in my truck was just overwhelming of that old lady perfume smell. It reminded me of a church service. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you ever been to one. So, after a few miles driving down the road with my windows all the way down, I got rid of the perfume smell. Well, so I thought. I pulled up to my apartment, and once I got up to my door, I got another faint whiff of that perfume smell. Well, I thought it was sticking to my clothes or something, and just didn't bother to look into it. A few days had passed. Nothing really happened. But one night, something woke me up from my sleep. In my bedroom was that overwhelming old lady church service perfume smell. I mean, it woke me up out of a frickin' dead sleep. And just then I heard something knock over in my living room and assumed it was the cat that occasionally crashes in my apartment, you know, for a warm place to sleep, some snacks. Figuring it's just the cat, I went back to sleep. In the morning I got up to see what the cat knocked over, but there was no cat in sight. In fact, the cat was outside wanting to come inside. So I just figured, okay, that's a little weird, but whatever. I just put it out of my mind and left for work. Later that night I come home and the cat was acting weird and didn't want to stay inside, just bolted out immediately. And didn't return back later that night for a snack or a nap. I thought I could smell that perfume again when I first got home, but I was just way too tired and hungry to really even care, and just wanted to shower. After I hopped in the shower, something a little strange happened. The shower curtain started moving a little bit, and then it started pulling backwards, opening the curtain. Of course, I thought it was the cat playing around, and then it hit me. The cat is refusing to come back inside. So, of course, I did any logical thing that a normal person would do. I screamed, "Get out of here, pervert!" And then I jumped out of the shower, slipped on the damn floor, and gave up chasing my invisible intruder. Now feeling a little creeped out, I got dressed and marched outside and grabbed that damn cat and forced it to stay the night with me in my room. Like, what the hell would the cat prevent? But it made me feel safer. I just didn't want it to be alone. So, I eventually ate some dinner in bed with the TV on and the bedroom door shut. Well, I definitely fell asleep with the TV on. That I did know. But it was that smell that woke me up again. The cat hissing at something by my door that is now open, and the frickin' TV was off too. I just said, hell no. Got up and took the cat, and we slept in the truck that night. With little or no sleep and losing my mind, I was determined to find out who the hell I brought home from the cemetery with me. Well, I figured it might have been that last monument I scrubbed up and restored. So I typed in the name on the internet. No help. You know, I guess there wasn't too many records back then in the 1800s. So, being the history buff that I am, I went to my local library. On no sleep and covered in dirt. Yeah, I definitely look like a creature that crawled out of the cracks of the earth. Well, in the historical room, and a lot of concerned looks of parents with children, I found a few books on the cemetery and family trees of the local area. Well, I looked up the name of the last monument that I cleaned, and I hit pay dirt. It was Mary Brennan. She died in 1881. It actually had a list of, well, her spouse and who her descendants were. One of them was even the governor of Michigan. That was actually pretty neat. And with a little more digging around, I actually found a living relative of hers that's living in the same town as I am. Well, being full focused and very drowsy, I put my tired mind to use and started stalking the remaining relative. You know, as any sleep-deprived psycho would do. The person of interest was a widow living by herself, very close to my place. It's a small town, everything is close to my place. Feeling very proud of myself with the research I have done, I went back home to go tell that old lady ghost to go haunt her great-granddaughter. I pulled up and went inside and nearly vomited on myself due to the strong smell. Damn. I was like, that was enough. I started yelling, spraying Febreze, opened windows. I'm pretty sure I started speaking another tongue with all the curse words coming out of my mouth. The only thing I remember yelling was something about, if you didn't want to haunt the cemetery, that's fine, but you can't stay here and perv on me in the shower. Yeah, not my best moment. Out of desperation, I got back in my truck and drove to the great-granddaughter's house to plead my case. Surprisingly, when I got there, she kind of believed everything that came out of my mouth, which was complete shock to me. I looked like a mess. I didn't sleep for probably a couple of days, but she was very nice. I think she was actually happy to have a visitor and talk about her relatives. I ended up spending 3 hours over there. Well, in the end, I got her to come back to my place. Not like that. I just want her to talk to her great-grandmother. And it was actually a huge help. I got that old woman to leave my apartment. You know, the ghost. And perv on someone else. Mission accomplished. Some time went by and I went back to my normal routine at the cemetery. I was just finishing up a headstone and a scent caught my attention. That scent ran chills down my spine. And then all of a sudden I heard a voice. "Hello, young man." Coming behind me, I nearly jumped out of my boots and I let out the weirdest yelp. I spun around to see, well, the great-granddaughter. Holding her chest in fright. I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." I think she was a little more terrified than I was. But we got over it and had a good little laugh about it. I told her she was wearing a very unique fragrance, and she chuckled and said, "Thank you. The perfume bottle just appeared on my bathroom counter one day." And that was the tale of the scent of death. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's story, and I will have more coming to you. If you want to see what inspired this story, check out my channel. I actually do have a full video of restoring Mary Brennan's monument. And cruise around on that channel and see what stories I might show next. If you like what you heard tonight, please hit that subscribe button. It means so much to me. And I'll see you guys later.